Nora, how are you? Greetings from Toronto, Canada.
Hi, Bonnie. Nice to meet you. I'm
Nice,
good. Thank
nice to meet you too. Congratulations. I love this film so much. It really it stuck with me. And I wanted to know from you, when you were first given Amy's memoir and you read through it, did you like immediately envision it as a film? And what kind of stuck with you?
Yeah, no, I didn't actually. I thought it was pretty unadaptable when I read her memoir. It was because it is so internal. It's
Yes,
in reality, it started off as an internet blog. It was almost like it's a collection of journal writing essays.
right.
It's a really weird mix of very personal story. It jumps in timelines for four timelines in one sentence. And I thought, okay, this is unadaptable. But I knew when I read Amy's book that Saoirse Ronan was attached to star and produce. And then the more I got into the book and the setting and the place and the mythology, I thought, wow,
Mm,
maybe it is adaptable. But how would a movie version need to look like? Because this is sort of such a creative challenge to tame this beast
100%. Yeah.
that yeah, I think at the end of the book I thought, okay, yeah, I do have a clear vision of how I think I would approach to make this into a movie.
Okay, so did you go to Amy immediately and say, okay, that's it. I want to help you co-write the script. Tell me a little bit about the adaptation of that, because you have her by your side and it's her baby, but yet she has to kind of let go a little bit. How did that all work out?
So first I spoke with the producers, it's like, I read the book, I thought, okay, yes, I could imagine doing that, but I need to pitch you how I would approach it. It was very important for me to pitch a certain structure of the film and a certain
Sure.
feel of the film because 50 different movies made out of this book. And then the next step was meeting Amy, and the next step was meeting Saoirse, and then we sort of got together. And at first, we created a name for the character because I thought, we all need a healthy, creative distance. We don't want to make a film that's an imitation of Amy. It is her true story, but it also needs to work as a feature film.
For sure.
So let's create this character. And then I had to take some time by myself because, like you said, it is Amy's baby. It's her story. She knows everything so well. She knows Orkney. I'd never been to Orkney. I had to Google where are the Orkney Islands.
Yeah, yeah.
So so it was clear in order to direct this film, I need to have my own creative approach. I need to find my way in and make it my own. And then we can start the process together. So yeah, I've spent a couple of months actually with the book and different color codes and card piles and arranged all the things and then put it into a beat sheet. And from then we collaborated really closely.
Yeah, and then of course you're working with the wonderful Saoirse Ronan, who, I've been interviewing her since she was a little girl. Oh my God. She's extraordinary in this. We've never really seen her do something like this before. It was not an easy role in any way, shape, or form, whether she was, you know, um, dealing with the mental illness or dealing with the alcoholism or then just being in a remote island. Like there's just so much going on here, Nora. What ultimately impressed you about the wonderful Saoirse Ronan?
Well, I mean, every day is something. It's
I'm
just
sure.
it makes my life very easy to work
Yeah,
with an actress that's so talented. But it's not just the acting talent. And yes, she's super professional and very well prepared. And it's not method acting; it's a craft. Like she
yeah,
really technically pulls it off and can switch off also in a very healthy way. So that's lovely to work with, but she has this magical presence,
mm,
that she could brush her teeth and it's somehow interesting.
for sure,
You
right?
you like to watch her, and she's very beautiful, but she's also has a very unusual beauty to her. So you always are kind of, fascinated by her presence on screen, and that is just, this magical thing that makes a movie star. And that's, I don't know, impossible to define what it
Yeah,
really is. And she has it. And so that gave a great security in terms of, wow, this film is a woman by herself half the time on a remote island.
mm,
How we're going to do that? That's not getting boring. And with her, then it's like, oh, you know what? I think we're in a very good place, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, never boring with Saoirse around, that's for sure. I was not bored for not even a second of this film. It was just riveting. And I love the way that it just went from timeline to time, like different, how you mixed it up. But that had to have been a challenge. But also shooting in this remote island, taking a crew up there, kind of infiltrating the community. Tell me a little bit about that and how accepting they were of it. And then just trying to shoot out there, especially you never know what the weather conditions are going to be. And especially I just came back from Scotland and I packed like 3 million sweaters. And luckily I didn't really any of them, but you just never know. Right?
Yeah. You always
Yeah.
have to have a jacket for sure. Um, so so it's a great challenge and a blessing at the same time, to shoot in a place like that, because people are very open and curious, because you don't have movie sets every day outside their houses. So we got a lot of support in front of the camera as well as behind the camera. People open their houses. We were,
Yeah.
they were hosting us, so we were like staying at their houses. They created all those local events for us, because usually they don't take place in September, which was when we were shooting. They take place in November, February. And so we were sort of guided by the locals also in order to make it feel as authentic as possible. And that also makes you really bond as a team,
Sure.
because you have to reduce the team size. You can't get a truck on that island. The car ferry just comes twice a week, and then a crane has to get the little cars of the ships. And it's a bit of a mix, like, of boot camp and team bonding experience.
For sure. Speaking of bonding, I wanted to know if you jumped in the water alongside Saoirse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you?
Actually, lots of times in the morning. And the funny thing is, she loves wild swimming. So for her, the biggest challenge was play freezing,
Yeah.
because usually she's just like, rob, rob, and runs into the cold water, because she's
Right.
grown up on the countryside in Ireland and,
Yes.
was always swimming in the rivers. I went swimming in the mornings because I loved when the seals came. It's
Oh,
a really
wow.
magical thing. They're so curious, and there's so many seals up there. And also the cold water gives you such an energy high. It's like drinking 10 coffees and they last for the whole day. So yeah,
Good
it's
to
quite
know.
cool.
Okay. All right. Next time I'm up there, I'm going to jump in for
Yeah,
sure.
jump in.
Um, Lastly, I just want to wrap because, working on a film like this, I mean, I think it's life-changing for everybody involved. You can learn so much from what Amy went through. I think it tells an amazing story that, never give up, no matter what you've been through in life. There's always like a light ahead. And I was wondering for you, after you finished this, how did it change you, Nora?
Yeah, it opened my horizon on many ways. I'm still sort of looking back into to that experience, and I'm grateful of the trust that Amy gave us, this new places and communities and stories and mythology that I was allowed to discover. It definitely also gave me a lot of respect about people who do make it out of
Mm,
addiction, because,
mhm.
it's not as easy when you look at it from the outside. It's very easy to say, well, you're sober for a year. That's great. Now get a life. But for the people in the situation, it can be that then the really hard time starts,
Yeah,
because now it's like, oh gosh, everyday life is coming back. So it is sometimes, even after 12 years, it can still be one day at a time, and it's a non-linear process. And I think that is something that I've realized during the
yeah,
making of this
yeah.
film.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's such a beautiful film. You've done an amazing job with it. So congratulations and hope to speak to you again soon for your next project.
Thank you.
Okay, Nora, have a
Thank
lovely
you.
day. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye-bye.